Hi, I'm Eddie Bauer athlete Paige Claassen, and these are your most searched for rock climbing questions. How to get into rock climbing? I would say nowadays the gym is a great place to start. It's really accessible to just, like every city, every town has a climbing gym now. Just pop in. You can get instruction if you want, or you can just play around. The gym is basically an adult playground, and you can just go have fun, scramble around, and kind of learn the movement. Meet some friends. It's really social. And then if you want to take it outside, the gym is just a great place to start and build those skills. What to wear rock climbing? It's a great question. So you don't actually need very technical gear to go rock climbing. My favorite combo is leggings and a tank top. So if you're a dude, you could wear like surf shorts and a t-shirt. Something simple, something comfortable, something stretchy. You do build a lot of body heat, so you know, shorts and tank tops are nice. Nothing too heavy. Just be comfortable. How to get better at rock climbing? So rock climbing is one of those sports where you just got to practice and repeat over and over and over. There's lots of cross training you can do, but honestly, I just recommend climbing as much as you can. Get in the gym, get outside on different rock styles, and try and think about what you're bad at. If your fingers get really tired during a session, maybe try working on your crimp strength, grabbing smaller holds. If your forearms get tired really easily, do longer routes to get pumped. You gotta suffer before you can get better, I guess. What is climbing slang? I mean, there's a lot of climbing terms that aren't slang to climbers, but like if you flash a route, it doesn't mean like, woohoo! It means that you did the route on your first try, but you did have previous information about the route. Beta's another good one. That's like when someone's looking at a wall and they're like, so they're kind of like figuring out how the climb goes, figuring out the beta. Choss is like the rock isn't very good. Or you could say like, oh, that route was chossy, which either means it was crumbly rock or poorly set in the gym. I don't know, you just didn't like it. If you red point a route, it means you worked on it for a period of time and then sent it. Sent is you climbed it from the bottom to the top without falling or hanging on the rope. Or if it's a boulder, from the ground to the top of the boulder, no falls. Yeah. How to train for rock climbing. This is my favorite part of the sport. I actually love training. Unlike suffer sports, in climbing, you just gotta go into the gym and play. So I'm really bad at power, so I'll just go into the bouldering gym and try really hard moves. So I want to be falling as much as possible. If you're not falling, you're not trying things that are hard enough, and you're probably not going to get better. So just fall a lot. What is bouldering rock climbing? So first of all, I would say it's just bouldering. And bouldering is where you're climbing a short distance and then falling onto a mat. So you don't have any sort of rope or protection. You're just climbing maybe like 20 feet and falling onto a really soft mat. When you're outside, you have to take a crash pad, like a mat you carry on your back, lay it on the ground, and then that's what you fall onto. It's like the simplest form of climbing. Why rock climbing? Because it's a great way to beat your head against the wall. What is a pitch in rock climbing? A pitch is a single rope length. So you have your rope. Ropes come in a number of different lengths, but it's normally, like routes can range from 50 feet to, you know, really tall, but let's say 200 feet. So one rope length, and then if it's a multi-pitch, you stop at an anchor, your partner climbs up, and then you do the next pitch. So you're basically resting in between each pitch. I do sport climbing, so it's just single pitch. You get to the top and then you lower to the ground, which is the best because you can get snacks. How tight should climbing shoes be? Good question. This varies a lot. If you've climbed for a long time, you downsize your shoes a whole lot. Oddly, shoes go off of the European sizing system, so like I wear a 40 in approach shoes or tennis shoes and a 36.5 in climbing shoes, so it's 3.5 sizes down. So I downsize a lot. Some people downsize more, but I like my toes to be like a bit curled and really at the front of my climbing shoes. So it kind of fits like a really snug sock. It shouldn't be super painful because that's gonna prohibit your climbing. But when they're brand new, they do hurt quite a bit. It takes a day or two to break in. But if you're just starting out or if you're doing longer climbs, I would go for a comfier shoe. You know, something you can wear for like 30 minutes or an hour at a time. But definitely take your shoes off in between climbs. How dangerous is rock climbing? I would say not very if you're doing it correctly. Obviously, there's a lot of different variables and types of rock climbing, but there's equipment that's there to keep you safe. So you have a harness, you're tied into a rope. If you use the equipment correctly and your partner is competent, then it's very safe. Obviously, you have to be aware of rock fall, loose rock, the weather, and then if you're bouldering, you fall to the ground, so there's more risk to your ankles. If you're trad climbing, you have to make sure your protection is placed really well. So there's a lot of answers to that, but in general, use your equipment properly and it's super safe. What is the rock climbing rating system? This is complicated because every country has their own rating system, and then every style of climbing has a different rating system. So in the United States, in route climbing, which is with a rope, you've heard of like second class, third class, fourth class, fifth class terrain. Climbing is in that fifth class, and then it's assigned a number. So it's 5.7, 5.8, up to 5.15. But then when you get into the harder grades, maybe 5.10 and up, there's also a letter. So it breaks that number down even further. So 5.13A is easier than 5.13D. And then you go to 14A, so A through D. But then if you're bouldering, there's the V scale, so V1 through 16. In Europe, they use a number and a letter together. In South Africa and Australia, it's just a number up to like 36. It's super complicated. Whichever country you're in, just use that system and then you get a chart that'll convert everything. What is the hardest rock climbing rating? I think 5.15D is currently the hardest, and V17, I think there's one. Yeah. We'll see, that'll change in like a year. What muscles does rock climbing work? Well, if you've never rock climbed and you go in the gym, you'll realize that every single muscle is exhausted the next day. It's really a full body workout. People think of it as just upper body and your arms, but you're really pushing with your legs, you're stabilizing with your core. You'll find muscles you never knew you had. How does rock climbing chalk work? So chalk basically dries out your skin. You know, you don't want to be sweaty when you're on the wall, and so it helps give friction. The friction between your skin and the hold you're grabbing makes it a lot easier. What is belaying? Important for safety. Belaying is your partner keeping you safe when you're climbing with a rope. So I'm the climber, I'm tied in with a knot to my harness, and my partner has a belay device. There's many types, but it's basically a piece of equipment that the rope runs through that they can break in order to stop your fall. So you're high up on a cliff, you fall, there's protection on the wall that the rope runs through, and then your belayer kind of goes into a break position and prevents the rope from continuing to run through the equipment. So really important to trust your belayer. How do rock climbing anchors work? So when you get to the top of a climb, there's normally like 2 bolts in the wall, is most typical, and those always stay there. It's just so that when you get to the top, you can secure yourself to the anchor and lower down and clean off all your other gear so that you don't have to leave expensive equipment on the wall. There's a lot of different types of anchors. Let's not get into that. Where to go rock climbing? Anywhere where there's rocks near you or your local climbing gym. Honestly, you can climb in so many places. There doesn't have to be mountains. There's cliff bands all over the place. So just go find some rocks. Maybe they'll be chossy, but maybe they'll be world class. There's a lot of websites you can go to. Mountainproject.com has a lot of resources on local areas. Guidebooks are really helpful. Or go to the gym and ask employees or people who you see climbing where they like to go climb. It's a great way to get recommendations. What is repelling? Repelling is when you're lowering yourself. So you're descending the rock with a belay device to get from the top of the wall down to the ground. So if you're doing a multi-pitch climb, you're going to have to rappel a whole bunch of pitches to get to the ground. So it just means that rather than your partner lowering you, you lower yourself. What are carabiners used for? Many things, but carabiners are part of quick draws, which you clip to the wall and then clip your rope to when you're lead climbing. You use a carabiner as part of your belay device system to secure your device to your harness, and then you lock it so that it cannot come unclipped. There's carabiners on the anchors that might be fixed that you clip into or that you put on the anchors yourself. You use carabiners basically to secure yourself to the wall or to a piece of equipment. What is smearing? Smearing is a technique for your feet where you kind of press the toe of your shoe, like the flat base below the toe, to the wall, but not on a foothold. So it's like a blank piece of wall and you just press your shoe onto it as hard as you can and stand on that. So it's when there aren't any footholds available, but you can still make use of the friction on the wall. How many calories does rock climbing burn? I assume. I have no idea. But it is a strength training activity or a strength activity. So I think there's the calories you burn while you're climbing, but then your body takes a lot of recovery and is still burning calories while you recover. So it's a little different from like aerobic endurance activities in that way. Is rock climbing good for you? Definitely. It's a great form of exercise. It works all the muscles in your body. It's fun, it's social, it's a great way to meet people. I can't think of anything that's not good for you in climbing, except maybe if you don't warm up properly and you hurt yourself. What are the hazards of rock climbing? Well, despite it being really safe, you have to use your equipment properly, and so there are many scenarios where you could misuse your equipment. Like if you don't tie your knot correctly, or you start talking to a friend and you don't complete your knot, or you don't check your partner before you start up the wall, or in bouldering if you fall and twist your ankle. There's also weather that you have to pay attention to. If you're high up on a wall, many pitches up, you got to pay attention to kind of what the weather's doing if you're safe. Rock fall is a hazard. That's why you wear helmets if there's rock fall danger. Also, just your partner not being aware, not paying attention. That's probably what I'm always most concerned of, is just having a partner I really trust. So there's a lot of hazards, but you can really mitigate those risks too. How do you get down from rock climbing? So depends what type of climbing you're doing, but if you're sport climbing, you get to the top and then your partner just lowers you down. That's why you have a partner, someone belaying you. Sometimes the area ethic is that you should rappel down, which preserves the anchors. It doesn't put wear and tear on the equipment at the top. If you're doing a multi-pitch climb, you have to rappel down many pitches. So from one anchor to the next, pull your rope, put it through the anchor, rappel down again. You do that, 20, 30 times and you're at the ground. I think rock climbing is a great activity for everyone to try. I mean, like any body type, any age, doesn't matter where you're from, go out and try it. Get a few friends together, and it's just a great place to kind of have fun, test yourself, push yourself, You can take it as seriously or, you know, as casual as you want. It doesn't have to be going out there and trying your hardest. It can just be going and getting a good workout. It's also a great way to like see cool places. A lot of the places we live, you know, there might be a hill or a cliff you'd never visit if you didn't climb, but it takes you to this new place, and then not only do you meet other people, but you see views you've never seen before, and it gives you a different experience. It helps you learn about your body and kind of how your movements work and what your body's capable of. So definitely get out there and try it. If you're intimidated, there's a lot of resources. If you don't know of any climbers, going into the gym and asking for an instruction or signing up for a course. There's lots of classes, intro to climbing or how to belay or women's climbing courses, or, you know, there's all kinds of creative ones that really make it a lot less intimidating and are a great way to meet people and get into the sport. So get out there. Those were the internet's most searched for questions about rock climbing. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and send in more weird questions, because let's learn more about rock climbing.